Just quick confirmations that you can see my screen and hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Okay, I hear
Oh,
you.
okay. So now, today I'm going to talk about the Power Platform. Now, the assumption on the call on this meeting is probably that you are new to the Power Platform, or you are not very knowledgeable on it. So we're starting from the real basics here.
Look, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Jim. Okay.
We said already.
So I'll be starting from the basics. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So who am I? My name is Fonyolajide. I work with Sterling Bank, like Jumoke mentioned earlier on, and one of the leaders of the Power Platform community here in Nigeria. I'm very passionate about the Power Platform community because I've seen how it has transformed a lot of people and literally transformed their career, like giving them a leap from where they are to places that they would never have imagined themselves getting to. And really, it's not about whether you're a developer or you're not a developer. It's more about how can I add value where I find myself? How can I help to solve problems where I find myself? I believe we all know that in this day and age, it's about adding value and solving problems. So, and that's what the Power Platform enables you to do. So I'd like us to have an open mind, even if you're a system administrator or you're a security specialist, or you really are not the modern workplace type of person, this Power Platform is actually open to everyone and anyone to use. So what is the Power Platform? Power Platform consists of 4 major applications. The first one is Power Apps. Next one is Power Automate. Then we have Power BI and the Power Virtual Agents, which was newly introduced to the Power Platform family. So I'll be explaining each one of them as I go along. And if you have any questions at any point, please feel free to stop me. So what is Power Apps? Power Apps is basically a platform that gives you the enablement to develop applications. We call it low code, no code. In a low code, no code environment. So it's like literally like your PowerPoint slide, and then you're just picking and dropping things to make them do what it is that you want to achieve. So that's what Power Apps does. And then these applications can be opened on the browser and also on your mobile device. So Power Apps has a mobile application on it. When you download the mobile application, all of the applications that you have created within your tenants, which you have access to, will automatically pop up on your mobile phone. And of course, it's available on Android and on iOS also. So a simple example would be you want to create a training attendance. So I'm sure we all know that we're in digital age, everyone is trying to get rid of paper. So you realize that, everyone that comes for a training, or whenever you go for a training in your organization, they always have this paper that they pass around. You can decide to create a simple application for it, where when people come, they can open the app on their phones and just basically punch in their name and their department, their unit, what training it is that they come to do and submit. Or an alternative can also be to have a system at the entrance and the application is open. So once you come in the morning, rather than signing on a piece of paper, you just plug in all your details into the application and you click on submit. So other common apps that are being built are like the leave requests. So a lot of SMEs are currently tracking their leave maybe in an Excel and with email. So someone wants to go on leave, the person sends an email to user manager and says, well, I'd like to go on leave, and the manager approves what happens after that is the maybe HR person just tracks on an Excel sheet to say, oh, phone is going on leave for X number of days, and she has Y number of days left from her annual leave. So all of this can be literally eradicated with a simple application that tracks all these inputs. So you want to go on leave, you open the app, put in all the details of the leave you are going for, and you click on submit. Your manager gets an email saying, oh, Queen is requesting to go on leave for this period of time, approve or reject. And then you approve, the manager approves. Then Queen gets an email saying, oh, your leave has been approved by your manager. You may proceed on your leave. So these are like real life issues where Power Apps has been used. And it's also used to, you can use to track inventory, you can use it for timed assessment and so many other scenarios. Recently, we also built an app, Microsoft built an application for the COVID-19 crisis communications, where employees can say where they are working from at any point in time, and then managers can track where its employees are at any time or any day. That's, oh, I'm working from home today, or I'm working from the office today. And all of that was done using Power Apps. Okay, so, well, I call this variations of Power Apps. Not quite sure what word to use, if it's variations or types. But when we talk of Power Apps, we're talking of different things. Yeah, we have the Canvas app. The Canvas app can be in the tablet format or the mobile layout. So when we say tablet layout, what you consider is, okay, this application that I want to build now, where are my users that are going to open this app? Are they going to be opening more from their laptops and their desktops? Or are these users field workers, like marketers, like field engineers, like people that are always on the move, that will be opening the application more on their mobile devices than on the system? So this will inform the layouts that you will use to create your application. Then we also have the model-driven app. The model-driven app is a bit restrictive in its layouts. It's not as flexible as the Canvas app. And then most of the time, when you want to create applications that speak to your CRM, that's when we mostly use the model-driven apps. And then we have the portals. So Power Apps portals also was recently introduced. So Power Apps portal enables you to create like the websites. So for example, if I want my customers to be able to fill a simple form, a simple complaint form online, and I don't want them to sign in. So most of the challenges we have is we can't really interact with our customers or our vendors because they are not on the domain. So like now, if I create a Canvas app, my customers can't use it and my vendors can't use it because they're not within my tenants. But what I could do is I can create a portal app for them where they can sign in, and they may not sign in. They may just come in anonymously and fill in maybe the complaint form. And when they do that and they click on submit, the data is automatically submitted to the CDS, which we'll talk about in a bit. And then you just basically have access to that information within your environment, and then you can begin to do whatever it is that you want to do with that information. So now AI is also a big part of the Power Apps, the AI builder, and it comes in. It does different things. The first thing it does is form processing. So it has OCR capabilities, where you basically teach the builder, you build a model by teaching it that, okay, it reads a particular form, and then you help it to understand that, okay, this is an invoice, and this is where the invoice number sits, this is where the date sits, this is where the total amount sits, and these are the information I would like to capture. Then also, yes, we have object detection. So object detection basically means I can take, if somebody at the store in charge of inventory, I can basically take my phone, and I have a stack of Coke bottles in front of me that normally what I would do is I'll have to literally count them one after the other. But with the AI builder, I can take my phone and scan that region, And because I've taught the builder how to do this, well, when I was doing the modeling, the app automatically can count those bottles. I know that, oh, these are 25 bottles or these are 30 bottles, just by using the object detection. So that's how one of the benefits that the AI builder brings in. And then we also have predictions. So there's also predictions where if there's a particular trend on a particular the things are going in a particular way, the AI builder can help you to predict that, oh, this is what is going to happen next. And also we have text classification, which we can also say is like tagging. So you want to know that whenever maybe an email is gotten that has the word complain in it, or that has the word bad service in it, I want to alert the customer service unit to know that, oh, there's something wrong. So that's text classification. You pick particular text and then you're able to classify them into a particular category, and then you can determine what you want to do from there. So anytime any email comes in that has complaints or bad service, I want to classify that bad service as a complaint, a customer complaint, and I want to send an email to customer service to know that, oh, there is actually a complaint that needs their attention. So these are different types of different features of the AI builder that currently sits within Power Apps. Okay, so when I'm talking about Power Apps, I also a lot of terms or terminologies that you hear. One of the biggest ones is data source. The data source is literally where your data will reside. So what we mean is the example I gave about the leave request. When I punch in all my information, my name is Foyi, I'm in technology department. I'd like to go start my leave from the 1st of May to the 14th of May. And I put in all that information and I click on submit. That information needs to go somewhere. So the different examples we have is like some SQL is a data source, Excel. We also use SharePoint list and the common data service, CDS. And then, so these are different common data sources that we use when we're using Power Apps. And then we also have the connectors. When you talk about connectors is basically a service that enables you to speak to different applications. So we have different types of connectors. For example, there's a SharePoint connector that allows your Power Apps to speak to your SharePoint list. There's an SQL connector that allows Power Apps to speak to the SQL databases. We have the Office 365 connector that allows Power Apps to get the properties of each properties of the user that is currently maybe logged in, or the user's manager, any property that is attributed to that user. You can use Office 365 connector to get all of those informations. So those are some of the common connectors that we have. All right, so I'll move to Power Automate. I don't have any questions on Power Apps before I move on to Power Automate. All right, so with Power Automate was formerly known as Microsoft Flow. Because some people get confused and say, oh, well, it was, what about Microsoft Flow? What happened to Microsoft Flow? Microsoft Flow is now called Power Automate. And what does Power Automate do? Power Automate provides the ability to automate workflows between applications and services. So the leave example I gave, you want, when a user submits a new request in Power Apps, you want the user's manager to get an email saying that Foyi wants to go on leave for 5 days. So the engine behind that automation is Power Automate. Power Automate is the engine that enables the user, the supervisor, to get an email when I submit a new request. And also Power Automate is the engine that will enable the initiator of the request to also get an email when the request has been approved or rejected. So when my manager approves, I get a mail telling my manager has approved my request. So Power Automate is that engine that does that for you, plus many other things that includes movement of files, connections to other third-party applications. Basically, we have tons of possibilities within the Power Automate. Like I currently have a flow that is running for my weather. I want to know what weather is like. So 3 a.m. every morning, I get an email in my box letting me have an idea of what today's weather is going to be like. So then when I'm going to work, if it's going to rain, I already know ahead of time that it's going to rain. So I go out prepared for a wet day. And if it's not going to rain, I know ahead of time that, oh, it's going to be a sunny day today. So that's a simple flow that I built for myself to help me be more organized during my day. So like I said, these tools are about making you more productive first. So if you have a lot of repetitive things that you do at your desk, you need to start asking yourself the question, how do I automate this repetitive thing that I'm dealing with? So an example is maybe you get multiple emails concerning a particular thing, maybe like all these automated mails you get, maybe about your system uptime, and it keeps coming like that maybe every hour or twice a day. And then your supervisor tells you, oh, Foyin, can you get me the report of the system uptime on the 10th of January 2019? What will you do? You will literally, go to your email and start doing from system uptime with attachments, and then you start searching, and you may spend a lot of time doing that. So a more efficient way to work will be to create a flow that says, whenever I get an email from system uptime at xyzlimited.com, push this attachment into this SharePoint document library, so that when next your supervisor comes and says, give me the report for 10th of January 2019, I don't need to start searching through my email to produce the report. I just go to my SharePoint document library and I filter by the date created, and within literally seconds, I can find the report and send it to him. Or better still, I just share the location of the document library and say, hello sir, all reports for system uptime are going to be stored here going forward. So whenever he needs to find the report, he doesn't even need to come to me. He just goes there and finds the report. So these are the difference. These are just simple scenarios of how you can be more productive at your desks by using the power tools. Okay. So basically, it helps teams to work smarter by automating their processes and their data. So what are the components that we have? We have what we call triggers. So when we're talking of triggers, we're saying something has to happen for this to happen. So that's a trigger. A trigger is what happens, something that happens to kick off the flow, the process. So an example for my leave application example is when a new request is submitted, that's a trigger. Then send an email to this person's manager requesting for approval. So that's a trigger. Some other triggers can be recurrent. So at 9 a.m. every day, like my weather example, at 3 a.m. every morning, send a report on the weather. So that 3 a.m. every morning is my trigger. Then we have conditions. So my lead example, if the manager says approve, send an email to the initiator, which is Foyin, to let her know that her manager has approved her leave request. Or if the manager rejects, send an email to Foyin letting her know that her manager has rejected her leave request, and this is the reason why it was rejected. So those are conditions. If this happens, then the action is then do this. So those are actions. When I spoke about connectors are also the same thing here in Microsoft Flow. Enables you to speak to different applications and different services. And notifications are basically the emails that we get. So as of February 2019, we had 332 connectors. So connectors connecting into different applications. You can see GitHub there. You can see, okay, there's also Twitter connection. You can see Google Drive, Wunderlist. Like these are applications that are non-Microsoft. But Microsoft understands that the users of today use different applications, and that what they're trying to achieve is we want to make you work as efficiently as you can. So we are giving you the ability to connect to all these different applications that you use to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. All right, then we also have the on-premise gateway, right? On-premise system. That's you need the gateway when you want to speak to data that is on-prem. So Power Apps, Power Automate, they are part of Office 365 suite now, and they are online. There are sometimes that your data may be sitting on premise. For example, the SQL I mentioned. So you have an SQL database that is within your environment, is not on Azure. You need a connector to connect your Power Automate or your flow from the cloud to pick data that is sitting on your server on-prem. So that's what the on-premises gateway are used for. Okay, so we have Power BI. Most of us are familiar with Power BI. Power BI basically helps you with your data analysis. It's Power BI Desktop, which is a free service. So you can which is a free application, download Power BI Desktop, and you can build dashboards from it. So you have data, we have data sets in Excel, data sets in SQL. Or how do we make informed decisions? We don't expect users or business decision makers to be looking into Excel every time, or to be writing SQL queries. Or what will happen is there will be one IT person somewhere that is the one crunching all those queries to generate the data that is required. In this time and age, the expectation is that decision makers have a dashboard that they can look at and make informed decisions from there. So all of this, your data and everything that is sitting everywhere, your dashboard is connecting to the data. So using my leave example, you have your dashboard that is connected to your SharePoint list, which is where your data for leave requests sits. And someone in HR can say, oh, I want to know what happened in the last quarter. How many employees went on leave? How many of these employees that went on leave are females? What are their age range? You know, how many of them took leave allowance benefits? So all this type of information. What would happen if you didn't have a dashboard is, or there will be some SharePoint administrator that will go to the SharePoint list and start filtering and maybe taking screenshots. But that's the old way of work. In this new world of work and this future of work, what we expect is that there should be a dashboard where they can just pick whatever date range that you want, and you can see all the information right at your fingertips. And you don't need to be in IT to build a dashboard. And that's really what the Power Platform is about. The Power Platform is giving you the power, empowering you wherever you sit, whether you're sitting in IT or you're sitting in finance or you're sitting in admin. You should be able to pick up your process and automate it yourself and build your own dashboard by yourself that speaks to what you want. And then the role that IT now plays is the role of mentoring or guidance, where, oh, you get stuck and you say, oh, I'm trying to automate this process. I've done this, but it's not working the way I want it to work. Can you support me, or can you help me out? And then IT just basically playing the role of a guidance to say, oh, you missed it here. Okay, let's try it this way. Can we try it this way? You know, and that's why most of the time when we have business problems, and then we write our business requirement documents and give it technology, and technology builds version 1, and then you hear users saying, no, this is not what I said I wanted. And the developer is like, that is what is in your document. And that is actually what is in your document, but you couldn't really express yourself in the exact way that you wanted to achieve what it is I wanted to achieve. And then so you say, okay, yes, that's what's in my document, but what I actually want is for this mouse or this cursor to move from point A to point B1 or not B0, not B10. And then there's a lot of back and forth. But wouldn't it be wonderful if you, as the business user, can sit down and build your app yourself? To meet, and then as you're building it, you're telling yourself, no, it looks like I'm missing something, and then you go back again, and then you build again, and on and on, so you get exactly what you want to solve your problem for you. All right, so the next app in the Power Platform is a Power Virtual Agent. What does Power Virtual Agent do? It just enables you to create a chatbot. So I'm sure that most of us know what chatbots are. So you go to a website, and once you get there, it just says, hi, what can I do for you today? How may I help you? And you say, oh, I'd like to know where your stores are in Lagos. And the chatbot asks you, what part of Lagos do you reside in? Lagos mainland or Lagos Island? And you say mainland, and then it gives you all the stores, Ikeja, Lausa, Ogba, different addresses like that. So that's a chatbot. And what Microsoft has done is they've made a very simple, codeless way of building a chatbot. So, of course, your company websites, you can come up with an idea of saying, why can't we build a chatbot for our company website? And you can actually do that using Power Virtual Agent without writing a single line of code. Now that the Power Platform is low code, no code. So all what we do in Power Platform is maybe write expressions in Power Apps or logic. It's just a lot of logic, which most of us, everybody uses logic every day. Especially if you live in this Lagos, you use logic. So we all use logic. Our lives are based on logic. We all know that if for this to happen, I need to do this. If I don't do this, this doesn't happen. So that's all the Power Platform is about. It's about logic. It's about if and then. It's about what do I want to achieve and how do I want to get there. So also you can have a chatbot for your department. So if you are working in HR, for example, human resource, and then every time employees are always asking the same question. So they will send you a mail asking you the same question. Oh, how many days am I entitled to for maternity leave? How many days am I entitled to for paternity leave? How many annual, So you keep asking repetitive questions like emails, and then you keep replying, and it's taking a chunk of your time. Build a chatbot for it. So that employees know that they can go to a particular location, maybe on the portal, on your intranet or somewhere, and ask the questions. And once they ask the questions, the chatbot answers them. So you literally cut off maybe almost 80 to 90% of all the emails that are coming at you. And then once chatbot gets to a point that they can't answer the questions anymore, it tells them, okay, contact this email address or route the request to you directly. So that way you're saving your time and you can spend your time on more productive things that will make you add more value. All right, so this is just a picture of what the virtual agent looks like. So this is the bot here, and this is the story, basically storyboarding as I call it. So that's where you say, if the customer says, I live in Lagos, ask the customer, do you live in Lagos mainland or Lagos Island? If the customer says, I live in Lagos mainland, then give the customer these 5 locations of our stores that are available. So, all right, so let's go into our demo. See? Don't know if you have any questions before I jump into the demo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi, good evening.
Yes. Yeah, good evening. My name is All
right.
Interestingly, I actually came across the virtual agent very recently, and I was trying to get some bit of work done with the virtual agent. I presupposed that it uses some form of machine learning, artificial intelligence. But on going through some of the processes, I realized it was more of you basically had to hard code many of the behaviors we're actually looking for. So it kind of defeated the purpose of the chatbot in the first place. Could you clarify, did I actually get it wrong, or is just the way it was designed? I need clarification for it.
Okay, so when you say hard code, let me be sure I understand. Like you have to punch in the answers. Hello?
Yes, in some way. Basically, so if certain fields or regular expressions were found within the code, I mean, behave like this, it's almost non-intuitive. As a basic programmer, it's something you can actually do without actually using a bot. So I was trying to find out what's very intuitive about the virtual agent. It was more like using awk with Power Automate. That was what I saw the chatbot as.
Okay, so the first thing is the idea of the Power Virtual Agent is not for developers. The idea is not for developers yet. So before the PBA, there were chatbots. Developers were developing chatbots. So Microsoft's idea is we want to enable literally anybody. We want to give them the power to be able to build their chatbots without necessarily defaulting to the programmers to do it. So that's one of the first objectives of the whole Power Platform is low code, no code. We want you to be able to do this without writing any code. And as it is with every chatbot, they are when you build it, there's predictions there. They are like you write it, the programmers write it in their codes to say if this is said to you, this is what you should say. So it's the same in the same way is how the PVA also works, except that this time around you are seeing everything in GUI. You're seeing everything in text. You are not writing C#. You are not seeing lines of codes and lines of codes. You are seeing everything like a literal graphical representation, like a chart that says if the user says X, then give the user 3 options. And then if the user says Y, then give the user 4 other options. So yes, that's the way it works.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
so maybe if I have to buttress a little bit on what you just said. I'm not too sure who asked this question, whether it's Damilola or Ibrahim. I'm not too sure who actually asked. I mean, I didn't get the name of the person that asked the question, but I think okay, Ibrahim. Oh, that's good. Okay, so I think I will even say for the components or the different suite of the Power Platform, the Power Virtual Agent seems to be the most simplest, really. So
Yeah.
I think we can also take the score after. Maybe there's something really you're doing, because it actually does not require the code, as you say. Yes, there might be, because there's a lot of, it's more of training your chats, I mean your chatbot, so to say, on how, oh, this is the pattern of questions that may come to you. Somebody can say hi, somebody can say good morning, somebody can say hello, and these are the possible answers you can give, or these are the possible questions. So more of your training your chatbot on the things that are the possible questions that can come to it, and then it can answer to those questions. So leads maybe, and I don't think it is much of a code really. It's probably maybe when you want to do a transfer to maybe a virtual agent, so where you have to automate that process and you have to put some things there, or probably maybe you want to talk to an application and you have to put a little bit of code there. Is actually the most simplest amongst because the Power Platform, all of them are simple, right? Quite right. But I can assure you, the Power Virtual Agent does not even require codes at all. It's just the things you will say normally that you feel a customer will ask you or a user will ask you, and these are the possible answers you have to give. So never mind, we can take this call further. and then see what you're doing. Probably maybe we can have, because when you started, I hope you were not mixing it up with the Power Apps. That's the reason, because Power Apps, I know in some way your expression, you might want to put expression there, especially when you want your app to go in some other form. But we can have this discussion afterwards, Ibrahim.
Okay.
I hope
Thank you so much.
I hope that helps.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, so I will go into the demo. So the demo for today, I'll just show us how to create a simple mobile app and then the approval process for it. Because of time, but I hope that we can have further sessions where we can do deep dive into all of the Power Platform apps that we spoke about. Today is just like introductory and an overview of everything that we have. Okay, so let's jump out of my slide. All right, so we're going to create a lead request app. So the first thing you want to do when you want to create an app is to try to figure out what's the information I want to capture in this application. So I'm going to use SharePoint list as my data source, which is one of the easiest, especially if you're just starting out with Power Apps. It's the easiest to use. So if I'm creating, let me say lead request. I would like to capture the name. So what type? I would like to capture. Okay, let me just see how quick I can go. I would like to capture. I'll just take a few fields. The leaf type. I'll make that a choice. Hold on. So I say leaf type. I come here. I say annual. I say study. Right, click on save. Then I also want to know the start and end dates. So I click on dates and I say start date. Date and time format. Save. And I say end dates. And I can also put a column here, a person column to capture manager. You can also automatically pick the manager based on what the person has in AD. Okay, that done. Just see the Power Apps tab here and click on create an app. And I call this lead request app. Create. So what this does is it brings up an app for you with 3 screens. So, and it uses the mobile formats for it. So you see a place where you can input your request. You see another gallery screen that has all the requests you have made in it. And then you also see a place where you can update your request. Okay, so it's almost done. So what I also want to do, as this is coming up, is I want to create a flow for it to say whenever a new request is created, start an approval. So I come to my Power Automate. All of these they're all available here. So if you come here and do, you can see this is Power Automate, all apps. You see Power Apps there. This Power Apps. here, come down. Let's power. This Power Automate right beside it. Okay, so let me check. Okay, almost done. So we have templates in Power Apps, in Power Automate, that can make your work very fast. So if you come to templates, you see different types of templates that you can use. So, and you can also search. Example, I know that what I want to do now is approval. So I can just come here and, so I suggest that before you start creating any new flow, just check first to be sure if the template is available. And if it's available, you can work from there instead of reinventing the wheel. So I can see approval here, right? There's also an approval tab here. So what do I want to do? I want to start an approval when an item is added. Let me see. So start an approval when a new item is added. So this is what I'm going to use. You can see 204. This particular template has been used over 200,000 times. Okay, so my app is done. You can see this is really easy and straightforward. So these are the three screens. Browse, all your requests are here. Details and edits. So if I play my app, and play from here. So this is for new. Come to new. Let's test. Before I do that, let me create my flow. Let me jump to my flow screen. Click on continue. So these are the connectors we're talking about. Continue. To start a new approval when a new item is added, you can rename it. Leave request. Come here, pick your site address. This is your site address. It stops here, just before list. Now this is my site. So if you are not seeing it here, you can so you come here, custom value. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. The long tenants there. Okay. Anyway, you pick your leave type, annual, start date. Let's say I'm starting next week. Then my end date. Say I want to end on the 24th. And then I can pick my manager. So then you can just check it like that. And submit. So you can see from here that these are the requests that I've made. This is my test 001 sitting here. So this is a simple way where you can create a mobile app very quickly from a SharePoint list. So jump. All right, so let me just show us the flow. All right, I come here. come to templates. Click on approval. Come here. Continue. All right, so I copied my site address before, so I can come and paste it here. Okay, it has popped up. Then, if it doesn't pop up, you just click on the down arrow and enter a custom value. Then, this is what I want, my leave request. So you can see that it has auto-populated some things for us already, like the title. The title is the subject. Saying please review, and then you can assign it to. So what I want to do now is I want to use the manager. So when I created the manager field in my SharePoint, I used what we call a person field. So a person field will pick from your Active Directory. I will not just pick the person's name, but all the attributes that are attributed to that person. So I can pick manager's email. So it's assigned to the manager's email directly. And this is the condition here. So expand condition, the response. So it's saying that whatever response that this person has made, if it's equals to approve, then inform the creator of the approval. If it's a rejection, inform the person that your leave request has been rejected, and these are the comments, if any. So first, then I can just save. So please note that you can make changes to all of these as you wish. So if you like to say something else, like dear, the name of the person that created it, you can use created by. So come here, you see created by display name. And then you can also change the words as you want. So I can come here and say created by display name. All right, so if you can save. So this has been done. I come to test. I have to perform a trigger. So let me come back here, add, and do. So let's pick a date, 15th, then and I click on done. So what should happen now is to get an email. Check my email. Hasn't come yet. So I can check my flows, check my run history. So you check it for my flows, click on the flow that you want to monitor. This is the one I want to check on. So I click on it and you can see the runs. You can see it's still running. So if it has failed also, you see there that it has failed. I also check for a stop. Yes, that's an approval. Okay, so basically that's how you create your, a simple app and also a flow along with it. So you just ensure that we always check templates for a template that has already been created. You can see because approval template has already been created, it was very easy for me to use that for my leave request approval rather than starting from scratch again. So many other things that we can do. We can put a lot of restrictions on the app to say the person cannot pick a date before today, the person cannot pick more than 10 days on a row. So a lot of other conditions that we can place on our application to make sure that it works as we want it to work. So hopefully other future sessions that we have, we'll be able to look deeper into each of the Power Platform applications and then create more complex applications. But this is really how you get started. So how do I get started? Of course, be an active member of the community, which you are, which is one of the reasons why you're on the call right now. Then you can visit aka.ms/powerops, which is Microsoft Learn. Very good way to get started with the Power Platform. And also, if you don't have an account on Office 365, or you don't want to use your company account, you can get a developer account to use for your private self-development. So this is the link to how you can get started with your Microsoft developer account that will give you access to all of these tools also. So if you have any questions regarding any of
Yes, so there are two questions.
Okay.
There are two questions on the chat window. One of them is from Damilola. Damilola said, can you show us how it picks up specific field from Active Directory?
Okay. What's the second one?
The second one says that, can Power Apps give us the function our third-party application gives us today, e.g., Nintendo forms or info parts forms?
Okay, yes. So please, info parts, like anybody that is using info parts, you know already, because I was a very active info part user and info part lover over the years. But we all know that InfoPart 2013 is the latest InfoPart. When Microsoft released Office 2016, there was no InfoPart in it. Most of us are using InfoPart, we're still using 2013, and it's going to its end of life very gradually. So the modernized InfoPart is your Power Apps. And trust me, Power Apps is very powerful. I had my doubts about it when I started, but there's nothing InfoPart can do for you that Power Apps cannot do. So it's about knowing the expression to use to get what you want done. So please, anybody that's still using InfoPart, go and start learning how to use Power Apps. That's the future. Then the other question was I should show how to.
How it picks up specific fields from Active Directory.
Okay. So specific fields. Now let me just come here. Let me use this as an example.
So why for you is that one of the things you have to have in mind is.
Sorry, she's saying something. Was about the manager.
The person is asking based on what you said regarding when you created the list for the manager.
Okay. Sorry. So what you do is in SharePoint. I don't know if you are familiar with SharePoint, but in SharePoint you have a field called the person field. So the person field is what I use. So what the person field does is it makes sure that, let me come here and just do new. It makes sure that any name you are typing in is the name of somebody that is inside the Active Directory. the company's Active Directory. So, for example, if there's no Fonyo-Olajide Bello on your tenants, it won't allow you to impute Fonyo-Olajide Bello. So that's what it does. And what I used to achieve that is this person field. So I just came and I said new person. And then you can give your field a name.
Okay. So today, one of the things you might want to also be you want to be sure about is this. If you are the type that run an hybrid environment, or so to say, or you sync your user identity to the cloud, which means that you might have an AD Connect on your on-premise. This actually means that every identity on your Active Directory is also synced to the Azure AD, which will help in searching for these names or searching for this the profile of this manager, and it can actually pick it up and you can use it. So that's one of the things. But if you don't have Active Directory, probably you're just running a pure cloud environment. The same thing applies also, which means that that user must already exist in the Azure AD tenant and it can pick it. But for Active Directory, because I see that your question was specifically from Active Directory, because all of these solutions are tied into Azure Active Directory. That is their own identity platform.
Yes.
Cloud. So what you need to do is that make sure that you have AD Connect on your on-premise so that you can sync the identity of this user's account to the Azure AD. With that, Power Apps is very easy for it to pick it, or even the SharePoint is very easy for it to pick it from there.
Okay, thank you. So,
yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, sorry, I have a question, please.
Okay, sir.
Hello, hi, my name is Okuchukwu. You mentioned something about when you want to use Power Apps with third party that are not part of your Active Directory or they're not part of your tenant, use Portal. Can you please explain a little bit more how you use Portal to achieve this?
Okay, so we have my Power Apps Portal is one of the new features of Power Apps, and you create it like a website. So you just have you can either host they have a default URL, like the way we have on Microsoft.com, or you have your own custom URL for it, which you will map to that URL. So if you're familiar with Azure Pass, you know that when you use Azure Pass, all those applications come with some funny URL where you can now map it to your own custom URL, so that when users go to that custom URL to load the application. So that's all. You just create it like let me show you. Just create it like a website. So you access it from here. So maybe you can dig around on your own later after the call. So come to Power Apps. Let me just show us. Okay. All right. So when you're on home, as you can see, Canvas, model driven, and portal from blank. So you can click on portal from blank and give it a name. So let me say test portal. Then you can see this is what I was saying about .powerappsportal.com. So I can say test portal, and then once you are done, just click on
this way you can actually you can use a Simile record for it to come to your own domain name, to your own custom domain, instead of using the Power Apps portal at the end of the address. You can use a Simile record.
Okay, it's not allowing. Everybody has used test. Let me use double L. And then click on create. So from here, you can now start to explore. It's going to take a while. So just try. If you have access to Office 365 environment, just do it the way I've done it. Once it's done, you can now click on it and start to explore how to customize it. So I hope I was able to help a bit. The provisioning will take a while.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's basically has to be web-based. It's not an app the person has to access via his Office 365.
No, it's not an
all right,
app.
okay.
It's on the web,
All right.
completely on the
So
web.
basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to give the URL to your customer or to a partner. Probably maybe you want to engage with them or you want them to be able to submit a request. So I'll give an example of this. Let's assume you have an environment where you have people submit a lot of bids or forms and all of that. You can actually build those portal apps and you customize it in such a way that people come in, even whether it is now their Gmail account or maybe Facebook or Google account, even with the LinkedIn, they can log in with and then be able to make their own requests and submit themselves. So that's the whole idea about this.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
and they can
thank you.
even
That's
come
fine.
in anonymously, where they're not even signing in at all. And then you get all the information stored in your data, your tenants, in your CDS.
Yeah, Foyi, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now this fits with Power Apps is good for attendance management. Is there a way that we can integrate it with cognitive service where we can actually embed people coming in, the camera pick the picture in real time, send it to the cognitive server through Azure and try to identify the person, and can easily do the attendance, send it to HR, this person has come at so time, without the person logging his name and number.
Okay, so I'm sure it's possible. I've not explored it before, but I'm sure it's possible. But I know that there's a picture, there's a control in Power Apps that can enable you to take pictures.
Okay.
Real-time pictures.
Okay.
So, like once you launch that, it brings up your webcam on your system, and then you can take a picture. So
Okay.
I'm sure that we can also connect that to the cognitive services.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Do we still have more questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. Yes,
Good
please.
evening. Sorry, for some reason, I don't know. I've not been able to. I don't know if you guys were hearing me. But when you were talking about my question that I asked earlier, so today, everything that you explained and your colleague, so today that's what we do on our SharePoint on-prem. So I was asking, because of the form, the demo you gave us, you picked the manager field. So I was asking you, is there a way it can automatically populate from your AD? Like picks your manager, you don't need to impute it. I don't want somebody
I think I get a
going
question.
I don't want somebody going to the form and putting their managers in the field. I want it to automatically populate some fields like department, line manager, and group. Yeah, let me just use those three as the examples for today.
Yes.
So I don't want you imputing it. I want the form to automatically populate it once I open it.
Yes, very possible. Using Office 365.
Okay, so that's what I was telling you.
Yes, it's very possible. So that's very possible. I think it's just some of the expressions you pick. Yes, okay, that's Damilola. That's possible.
Yes. Okay.
From the question you ask, it means that it just knows that from AD, Foyi is my manager. He knows who I report to and all of that. So immediately I log in, it already populates my department. It populates even my own title and all of that. It's very possible.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Then for the
Jumoke?
second question, as regards
Yes, sir.
Okay, still answering
said-
our question. If you are using an on-prem SharePoint list, now you are using the Active Directory on-prem. Can you use Power Apps to feature out those datas automatically from the Azure? I'm sorry, from the AD.
Okay, so I
So
want to believe
I
that.
want us to look at the balance. If you are using a sync with on-prem AD and Azure AD, it can work
That's the
perfectly
one
well. Yeah, yeah.
we answered first.
Because
Okay.
today SharePoint just goes to AD
Yeah.
and select some attributes from Active Directory
Mm.
to create the population
Okay.
automatically on the form.
Mm.
So I want to believe Power Apps to be able to do the same thing.
Yes, Power Apps can do that for you. But you need to have,
There'll
like
be a gateway.
Jumoke explained, there has to be the AD sync. Like your Active Directory cannot be in isolation. Like you
Okay.
only have Active Directory on-prem and you don't have anything in the cloud, no Azure AD, no AD sync that is syncing your AD on-prem to the cloud. Then there's
Okay.
no way that information can get populated.
All right. Thank you
Exactly.
very much. Also,
Yes.
as
So
regards NITES form and info path. So today, most times what we use is NITES form because of how it looks better. The form looks more interactive
Mm,
than info path. So
mm.
I also want to believe that Power Apps will do the same thing because you mentioned that Power Apps is like the updated version of info path. So are you saying that Power Apps can be better or is better rather than NITES forms?
Okay, so Nintex Forms is third party. It's a third party
Yes, it's
application.
third party
It's not from
application. Yeah.
Microsoft.
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's not an apple to apple comparison.
Okay.
So I
and
cannot
so
say
and
Power
So
Apps
I'm
is
talking
better
about the
than
look.
Nintex
Okay.
Form. But I can say categorically that Power Apps is way better than InfoPath. InfoPath is the past. Power Apps is the future.
Okay. All
You
right.
understand?
Thank you.
And you can
Yes,
see
I do.
from this simple 2 minutes demo that we did,
Yeah.
you can see how the app came out. It looks very nice, very clean and simple. So this already gives you a feel of how, if you spend more time on your app, how good it will look. Trust me, it looks good. Since I started using Power Apps, I never went back to InfoPath again. And
Yeah.
another advantage of Power Apps is you're already paying for it because it comes with
Okay.
your Office
exactly
365.
that's the part I want to come in.
It
Yeah.
comes with your
That is a
old
lot
Office
cheaper for
365
you,
app.
especially when you have Dynamics 365 or you have E5 license. It's a lot cheaper for you, so you don't have to spend extra money on that. I think even it's embedded in the E3 plan also. So that means you're saving your company a lot of
Yeah.
costs, a lot of
It's
Yeah.
even
money, and then you
it's
have
even
also a good experience.
Yeah. Instead of
yeah.
paying for
Is
another
in the
third party
E1
application.
plan, is in the business essentials plan.
Okay, that's good.
Yes. So, yeah. I think you had one more question, Damilola.
No, I'm fine. Thank you. So I think I'll have to explore Power App and just
Please,
see.
by all means, go and join the Power community, the Power Addict.
Yeah.
And if you want, join the community. We have lots of resources there that you can leverage on. I
All
mean,
right.
I don't even know how to code, to be honest. I don't even know anything. When I see those their expression, all those their, I get scared. But I mean, the way it is, I'm a living testament of the things that I do. And I'm wondering that, oh. So to be honest, it doesn't require you to even have any knowledge of coding or programming, so to say. And again, please still stay on the call.
All right.
I want to just quickly make an announcement. One of the announcements also would like to say, is somebody still asking a question? I
Yeah,
left in the chat window.
I'm
Yes.
just dropping Damilola my Twitter handle so we can connect.
Okay then.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
And
Is it okay if I say something
Jumoke,
real quick?
Jumoke,
All right. All right.
before you
Someone wants to say
Someone
something?
wants to say something.
Jumoke, before you move ahead, for you,
Yes.
if you can also work with Daminola on this, they are exploring for our own company, it can be a good story for you in order to preach in terms of through the through your power platform how um, they could engage with using Power Apps to do some work in our company. So I think more than just guiding her, you can also share out of our story and help her through the landing process.
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
very happy to do that.
Yeah.
So I would like to mention that I come from a background currently of developing iOS and Android mobile apps, and I've been doing so for 4 years for my organization or my employer. And the past year and a half, I was asked to investigate the Power Platform, or before it was called Power Platform, so Power Apps and Flow. And in investigating, I realized after building over 126 Power Apps and several flows, and some of these like 60 something are
Wow.
advanced in Azure cloud resources with, just the works. And I can say that I've provided more benefit to the business than the normal development of iOS and Android by far. Like I've only produced 4 mobile apps, because there's so many projects that are connected to these iOS and Android apps, so many approvals. But the moment that you build inside a Power Platform and you use components or reusable templates, you can crush it. I mean, and then the business is like loving it, and they're learning how to build these training classes with us. There's so much that this opens up for those users to finally feel like they belong inside of IT. That is like the best feeling to me.
Oh, very, very, very well. Thanks, Yon. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
is a very good one. And mind you, Yon, we're going to invite you to this call because you're going to do something for us. Yes, I brought you in already. So we are
Yeah.
going to have a session at which we have to invite you on the call. So to thank you all for attending. I just wanted you guys to wait a little bit. I know I've taken some of your time. We decided we are going to end this by 6, but as you can see, it's a very interesting session. So we are not even mindful of the time again. And
Yeah.
then so
I don't
so
mind it at all.
all right. So one of the things we are going to look at is this. I mean, because of the feedback we got from you guys, some of you said you wanted to have a basic understanding of what even the Office 365 journey is or the components before. So we also are planning that after this, even if the lockdown ends, we are still going to do a Power Platform series, a deep dive, which we're going to take every one of it one after the other. So yes, we know we have a lot of virtual meets up right now because of the lockdown, and mostly when we do this is mostly in the physical, but don't worry, you will not be left out. You will also be part of this calls also, even if it means you dying in virtually into all of this calls, so you will be part of it. And then one other thing I also would like to say here is this. I would like to show you a little bit of an app that also we develop here in Ashem to for the COVID-19. We develop an app, so to say, that can actually watch is more of striking a balance with the work of your users and how you can strike a work-life balance with them. But when COVID-19 came in, we decided to also extend the functionality to COVID-19, whereby users can answer little questions through Flow to tell us, oh, this and this and this is what they did. So the app is actually called Avis Eye Care. I actually put it in the chat box that you can indicate to us if you want to try this app for us, give us your review and tell us how much we can improve on it. Just a few minutes. I'm not going to do so much of I'm not going to take much of your time. I just want us to quickly see what this app is all about. Sorry that, just 1 minute, please. Oh, so I think when the questions were coming in, I forgot and I just closed it up again in a bit to ask you some of the questions. So I have a wonderful voice here that is recorded, and it's just going to tell us, show us what the app is. doing. I'm gonna share my. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen with you real quick, and then. So if you're interested in this app, do let us know. We're willing to. Can anyone see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, good. So this is what just the app is gonna do. I'm just gonna play it a bit, what our demo is like. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear?
No, we cannot.
Oh, sorry. So let me just make it. Just a minute, please. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, I missed that out. I'm really sorry. I know I'm taking your time. Please don't be annoyed. I just want your reviews. Can you see my screen now?
Where you can create helpful tips for your employees and have them notified about such tips.
Yes, we can see and we can hear now.
You can hear now. Okay, so I'm just
Hello everyone. So today I'll be taking us through a demo of Harvey's Eye Care. Harvey's Eye Care is an employee welfare application where you can create helpful tips for your employees and have them notified about such tips at intervals. So this application integrates with Microsoft Teams, and basically it encourages a work-life balance from the employer's perspective. Although employees can also create their own tips, but yes, it's generally for the purpose of ensuring that you encourage your work-life balance by notifying them of healthy tips like drinking water, smiling, eating. So considering what is going on around the world right now, we've included additional tips to keep employees notified about maintaining a healthy lifestyle while they work from home. So yes, we've added COVID-19 tips that employees can easily see, and then they're reminded of how they can stay safe during this period. So yes, like it's described on the application here, let your employees know how much you care about their well-being by creating and sharing helpful work health tips for them to follow. Promote a balance that ensures optimal performance output. So yes, before getting to this interface, for instance, let's say you're a new user, this is not what you're going to have. So you basically be adding this application from the Microsoft Teams App Store into a particular channel or team in Microsoft Teams. So yes, it only works as part of a team in Microsoft Teams. So yes, a brief rundown of what we'll be doing today is finding the app in the App Store, adding the app to a Teams channel, using the app, then the HR dashboard, because we have two rights, that's the HR rights and the user rights. Then I'll be showing you where as a HR you can view reports that users or employees that have been complying and taking action based on the tips that they receive. Then yes, I'll be taking us through the user aspect as well, and we'll wrap it up from there. So now we're going to how to add this application in Microsoft Teams. So because I already have the application existing, I'll just start from scratch. So here, where we have apps, I'm going to click on apps. This is my Microsoft Teams interface. I'm going to click on apps, and then I'm brought to where I can add applications and search for applications. So in this search box, I'm going to type in Harvest. I can already see there Harvest iCare has appeared. So I'm going to click on it, and then next there's a pop-up that comes out asking me to open. So for you, if you don't have the application existing, most likely you won't rather. What you would have here is add, and this drop down would be add to team. So I can click on open, and it's going to take me directly to open. But for the purpose of this demo, I'll click on add to a team, and I'm going to search for, once I click on add to a team, I'm going to search for a particular team that I can already see options for the teams that I have existing and that I'm a part of. So I'm going to click on marketing here, and then I am able to set up a tab. So the tab is one of the options at the top of a particular chart. So I'm just going to click on this so I can show us what I mean. Setting up a tab. So it's asking me to confirm if I want to post to the channel about this tab. For the purpose of this demo, I won't be posting to the channel about the tab. But while I wait for it to load, I'll be able to click the save button after. So it's currently grayed out because it hasn't finished loading. But once it's done loading, I'll be able to, yes. I can now click on save, and I can see now that it has appeared in the marketing channel as one, and this is the tab I was talking about as one of the tabs. So next I'm going to, because I don't want to run this demo from here, I'm going to go directly to the application, which is here, and go to the side here. So it's existing as one of my applications, and this is the interface for Harvest iCare. So once you have the application running, you can see the HR dashboard button and the Get Started button. So for those that have HR rights, you are able to see the HR dashboard and Get Started, because you can use the application as a HR and a user, which is the point of the Get Started. But for regular users, all you're going to have is Get Started. So if you see just Get Started on your screen, that means a regular user, and there's nothing to worry about. So I'm going to click on the HR dashboard now. So yes, I can see my most recent active tips, right? This is what I see first. Then I have my home button, which takes me back to the page we were on previously. Then I see a welcome, Chisom and Isiva, because this is my account. Down here I have all tips, where I can view all the tips that are existing in Harvest iCare, including the ones I have added. User reports, as an admin I can see user reports, but this won't be available for users. Then the add button here, I can add additional tips if I want to. So I'm going to take us through all tips first, then I'll move to user, then I'll move to adding a tip. Apart from adding a tip from here, once I go to all tips, I can still see the option to add an additional tip. So currently, this interface where I have all tips, I can see there are 22 existing tips in total, right? And I have 22 of them active and no inactive tips. So Habits I Care comes with pre-made tips that are included in the application. These tips cannot be deleted, but they can be turned off by the HR or admin, whoever the admin is. So once I click on this particular, on the right hand side, you can see a description of each tip. So this is already blink your eyes, remember to blink to rejuvenate your vision. So I just clicked on eye cupping now, and try eye cupping. Rub your hands together to create it, then gently cup your palms over your closed eyes and rest them there. So these are all the existing tips. As I'm scrolling down, I can see all the tips I have. These are our COVID-19 tips: clean hands, social distancing, face touching, good hygiene, stay home. So these tips are pre-made. All of them are pre-made, but for this particular tip, it was added by me, so that's why there's an option to delete. But these other tips are pre-made and came with the application, so I only have the option to turn them off. So I'm going to turn off Zoom your text because I don't want it to apply to me. And immediately I turn that off, you can see that I populated here, and now I have one inactive tip, 21 active tips, and 22 as the total number of tips, but 21 active and 1 inactive. So if you try that, it's worth January for the entire application. So I'm going to try to delete a particular tip, then I'm going to add it back so I can show us how to delete a tip and how to add a tip. So once I click on this delete button here, I don't want to turn it off, I want to delete it completely. It shows, are you sure you want to delete this tip? So I'm going to click yes, I want to delete this tip. So while it loads, okay, my tip has been deleted. If you remember, we had 22 as a total number of tips. Now we have 21 and we have 20 active tips. Still 1 inactive tip. So now I'm going to show us how to add a tip again. So here, I'm going to click the plus button here in red, and I am opened up to a pop-up that says tip title. So this is required. As you can see here, is grayed out. So this is required. Tip title is Eat Healthy. Right. Description. The description we had before was so I'm just going to stick around the description. Try to eat. You can see this is no longer grayed out because I've stayed typing the description and I have a title. I have a title rather. Try to eat at least 3 times per day and reduce nibbling on junk. Yes. So yes, you pick a category. That's well-being. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'll proceed to add tip. It says here tip created successfully. So we have successfully created a tip. So I'm going to search for home. Here I can see now that it has populated back to 22 tips. So I'm going to try to get my tip Eat Healthy. It has appeared here, but it's not turned on. So I'm going to turn it on, and then my tips have populated back to 21 active tips and 1 inactive tip. So now I'll be going back. I want to see the usage report of those that have been, for those that have been adhering to the tips that they've been receiving and basically complying. Yes. So I'm going to click on user report here while I wait for it to load. So yes, it has loaded. So this is what the user report interface looks like. It's integrated with Power BI. So here I can see the names of the responders, the dates of their response, and the response type. Then right on my right here, I can see the total number of responses received, which is for now a total of 1,161. Then 7 unique responses, which represents the number of people that responded. So right underneath, this is details or gives a graphical representation of the response rate for each tip. So here, all the tips are arranged according to, are arranged from the highest to the lowest for the tips actually. And once I click here, I can see more tips. As you know, we have 22 tips, so it details all the tips that we have currently. So yes, once I click on to see the number of responses for a particular tip and the people to narrow it down, once I click on the display, which is for the COVID-19 health tips, the other, the other part is grayed out for the other tips. So I have just the responses for COVID-19 health tips, and once I scroll down, I can see those that responded to it easily and their responses as well. So if I click on Eat Healthy, the others are grayed out, and then it's streamlined to just the people that responded to this. So once I click on, I can arrange it according to their names, yes, or the date of the response or the response type. So there's the option for you to filter. So basically, this is what the report looks like for the Harvest Eye Care. So here I have 87 responses for Eat Healthy and 4 unique responses. That's the number of people that responded. Basically, this is an overview of what the analysis, the report looks like. So you're able to see those that have been complying with the tips that have been shared organization-wide and those that haven't really. Okay.
So thank you all for watching and thank you all for the time. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Not sure what. Oh, okay. So what I was just trying to show you is that this is just a complete Power Platform solution. I mean, it takes all of the components of the Power Platform from the Power Apps is what we use in building a solution with the flow, which shows even, okay, I would have showed you something interactive where it shows with an adaptive card showing the user to respond to the question, were you able to maintain, and all of the COVID-19 tips and all of that. And then we now tied it up now into what? Into the Power BI so that we can see a dashboard, a visualization into what the people are doing and if they are also complying with all of the tips. So I just wanted to share with you. If you guys are interested, you can let us know. Put your comment put it on the comment box. I mean, what we're trying to do is just to drive how much we can enhance information, share information with people as they go through this phase all of us are going through. You can try the apps for free and then you give us your reviews. You can tell us what you want us to improve with it. Basically that's just what we're trying to do. That's why I said I will share it. We know some couple of customers that say they are interested in it, and then during this period that they even want it to roll out. So if you're also interested and you're on the call, let us know. We'll allow you to try it for free, and then give us your reviews also so that we can always improve.
Do you want to?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. Well, before we leave the call, I want to appreciate Ashem and Jumoke, and that's a real one to show the practicality of what you are teaching us. So I will also encourage people on this call also, if you have innovation solution like what Jumoke has just displayed and you want us to look at it, because the game changer is us applying it to our local market and how we can solve our problems. So please, you can also do that talk to Jumoke. It can help you to showcase it, and you can also bring it to this kind of platform. That's just what I want to add.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, thank you guys for coming on this call. Please.